I'm Geoff Maruyama Jones, and part of Maruyama Jones Farm, and we are primarily a Kalumungai or Moringa farm.
So Misa Maruyama Jones' wife. So we do Moringa health and beauty. So our main focus is to create products that are natural, that are grown in a sort of sustainable way, and that help people live healthier lives. And also part of that is also the skincare element, skin and beauty, because there's so many toxins in skincare. So we thought that was an opportunity there to help people also.
That's great. And where are we located?
So we're in Kailua, Kona. This is technically the Keahole Ag Lots, and it's owned by the Department of Agriculture. And we're leasing a 5-acre plot. Actually, my dad is, and we are working with him in tandem. And we're like 200 feet above sea level. I don't know if you guys care about that stuff. That's what I've
And cohort 1 for Big Island, yeah?
Cohort 1. With Derek.
Honoka'a.
Yeah.
And this parcel is 5 acres. How much do you folks farm for your...
Honestly, gosh.
Probably using less than an acre.
Less than an acre.
Less than an acre, including the sheds and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
At this point.
And would you consider yourselves full-time farmers?
Yeah, yeah, and that's including the business side, of course. But yes, the farm industry, I would say absolutely.
That's combining the sod side and the moringa side together.
Right. Like the work that you do is 100% in agriculture.
Yeah,
That's great. And what kind of products do you sell, or what kind of products do you sell? I know that what the crop is, but when it gets sold to people, how does it get sold to them?
So we have a few different methods that we're selling to the public. We're in Locavore, this little store in Hilo that actually Derek Hugo Farm introduced us to, which has been fantastic, and they've been very, very friendly, very, very helpful. As far as the marketing side too, of your costs and shipping and all this kind of stuff, they just worked very well with us. So we're in Locavore. We also do the farmers market in Waimea once a week on Saturdays. It's Parker School, and we also have our online sales. Or you come to the farm and you can purchase here too. But as far as the products go, so we have the raw leaf. So at farmers market we sell raw leaf. We also do a dehydrated leaf, what we're drinking now, and it's a supplement that we can mix in with any kind of liquid and drink it as a beverage or nutrient kick. And then we also do, and I'll let you explain a little bit more about the oil, but we're taking the dehydrated seed pods, compressing them, and extracting the oil through a cold press, and making the cosmetic oil out of that.
So this was something that we tried ourselves, and we're like, wow, this is incredible. I mean, the power of the plant is amazing. So what we do is we press the seeds. It takes about 1,000 seeds to make 1 ounce of this moringa oil. And so there's no carrier oil, there's no extra olive oil or coconut oil. It is pure moringa oil. We do add 2 fragrances. We add, and it's more for the function that it performs on the skin, but frankincense and French lavender. But besides that, it's all moringa oil that we cold press here.
Really?
Yeah.
Everything's done on farm.
It's labor intensive for sure.
Yes. And what is your hope for production? Like, do you always want it to be always made right here, or are you thinking like scale up? Because I mean, the pure is like the magic. That's why.
That's right.
So, and I know you guys are just in the early stages, but it sounds like that's an area that you're planning to expand?
Absolutely. If we can accomplish this, what we love to do is vertically integrate so that everything is happening on our farm. Because we love the idea of knowing exactly where the oil is coming from the soil that my brother makes here on property.
You know everything.
You know everything, all the way up, seed to skin.
It's so next level. Sort of tell me like how you got into farming, because that's been a fascinating question, going around and collecting info from Go farmers. A lot of them, this wasn't their first choice, but they always had some type of connection. So can you guys just sort of tell me how it happened?
Yeah. Can you go?
Sure. So I grew up in LA, and my father, my biological dad, had some land in Central California that he was playing with, and he was doing a little vineyard out there. So I grew up very young, just exposed to that kind of lifestyle. And then my parents split at the age of 10, and so I didn't do that so much, and I was more a city boy in LA. Then moved out to Hawaii in 2001 for work after I did my undergrad in LA. Did the city life. I was an outreach counselor in Kalihi for about a decade.
Oh wow! If that isn't game changing, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what is.
Yeah.
I mean, went from LA to Kalihi as an outreach counselor. Must have seen a lot of interesting things there.
Yeah, very much so. And that was a great experience. Yeah. So that was actually, I was very comfortable at that school with the population I was working with, but the state job and working with the people, the adults more so, were the stressors for me. So then I met Misa, and then she was going through her PhD at the time. Yeah, and then finished that up. And my father-in-law and brother had this business going on out here in Kona. And then Dad came down with cancer, and he had looked into moringa as being some sort of natural, remedy or something that can help him with his cancer. And so he had a few trees that he planted. Then he planted maybe 20 on the Helco perimeter here, and it was just something he wanted for himself. And so when he got cancer and started going through chemo, that's when we were getting married the next month, pretty much. She was graduating from her PhD program, and I had just finished 10 years in the school I was working at. And so they kind of said, can you help with the sod side and come out this way? And so we made that life shift. Is that kind of what you remember?
Yeah, that's totally what I remember. I mean, so after my dad got sick and he started taking moringa, he was so excited about it. Like, so excited. Like my Big Fat Creek wedding, how the dad is about Windex, like that. That's how excited he was
Put
about
moringa on it.
That's right.
Yeah, I heard put moringa on it.
Yeah, like, you're like, get moringa, get my moringa. I love it. That's great.
Just about all kinds of forms of moringa. So then I started researching it because of my background, like in science and stuff. So
what is your PhD in?
It's communication information sciences. So mostly I'm experimental. So we would bring people into the labs, and we would test how they use different software. Basically, completely different from farming.
Yes,
like
yes.
like all the way on the other side of the spectrum. And actually did my dissertation on the use of social media and stuff and politics. So kind of got a little burnt out on that.
Yes,
and just like the hustle
everything.
of it.
Yeah, totally.
So when my dad got sick, it was like such a great opportunity. But he was like, okay, this is amazing. It's the miracle plant, everything. And then we started looking into it, and the science was there, which was amazing. Like, actually well done studies. The empirical research was done. In terms of cancer, it's very early, but there are a lot of other benefits that have been validated time and time again. So that's what made us feel like, wow, we could actually do something good for the community with this. I mean, there's a lot of locals who already consume it, like Kalamangaya, Maruyama.
How long have you guys been farming or doing this?
We're going on 2 years from
2
October.
years.
So he was just growing moringa for himself?
Yeah.
And then he was like obsessed, and then and then was like offered that to you, or you thought this was something that you guys wanted to develop on your own?
I think it came from his need, actually.
Oh, okay.
Because he realized, because he had cancer, his back started giving out, and he thought, I need help, like, to be able to continue. So he reached out to us to see if we would be willing to come back and to help out with the sod side.
The sod was a priority.
Oh, I see. Like the business.
Which we actually do.
Yes.
So we don't talk about that, we don't post about that, but we do, especially Geoff. He's like full-time on the sod.
And daily maintenance. I mean, it's not brain work. But,
no, that
physically
that makes sense. That makes sense, because it's like, hi, I need help with the business.
Yes, that's right. Because they're doing the doctor's visits
Yes,
back to a wobble and things like
He
okay.
was off for like months when he finished chemo and stuff. So
Hello, and then
Yeah.
and then also to grow. So moringa was just like a side thing for
Family
him.
garden.
Yeah, like for his medicine.
for his medicine.
Yeah, and then you guys just thought maybe other people need medicine.
Yeah, exactly. Because we saw how he was, like how much he improved. I mean, it was amazing to see, like, his energy improved, his immunity improved. He just felt like alive, you know. And so when we saw that change in him, we're like, man, this is like something where we feel like we can leave our mark, because we always wanted to do something where we could not leave our mark like a legacy, but make a difference, you know.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it wasn't like we definitely didn't want to do. We wanted to help people.
Yeah.
So we saw Dad and.
But yeah, I mean, when we first moved out here, that we weren't sure if the Kailua guy was going to be our ticket or what, because we're so new to ag as far as even the business side marketing. You know, we're meeting tons of uncles and aunties that just want to farm. Forget the marketing side. I don't want to deal with people, and that's what I would like to do too. But to be successful, I don't know if we could do that. So it's nice that we have a partnership. But yeah, when we first came out here, she was looking at like Palamanui, Hilo, maybe working out there. You know.
How did you guys find Go Farm?
On Oahu,
actually.
Oh.
We went to.
We listened to Steven speak.
Okay.
Or
it was on the windward side somewhere.
Kahalu. Was it Kailua? The school up there?
Interesting.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
And then he was just speaking about Go Farm, and then you guys thought like, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, this sounds amazing. That's
well, yeah. It was. I think then we weren't. I don't even know.
Yes. This is not a paid ad or sponsorship, by the way.
A whole separate business. Okay. So we're like, let's do it on our own. Let's take a liability on for ourselves too, and not. Keep it minimal too, and like bootstrap everything. So we started off small, you know, like how many trees, like
whatever he had planned.
So like 20 trees, right? So we were like, okay, how
utilize
do we
your
start?
resources,
Right?
Which we've been also. Sorry, side note. We've been very fortunate with the resources we have here. I mean, we're stepping into situations where we have machinery access, we have soil, you know, and so it's just really ideal for us to do that. So the transition was very favorable for us. What validates it for me is when you get the tourists saying, you know, they're interested, and then you get the local guys that come by, and the ladies, you know, the Filipinos, and and your beans are so long, like, what are you doing? Can we have for dinner tonight? And we help out families that want to come by and pick and stuff like that. So that kind of respect that you guys are doing something correct, you know, it looks good and healthy. That's good validation for us.
For us, it's all about like creating it with integrity, and so it's small. Not to be like small batch, artisanal.
Well, it's
you
purposely
know, like,
small batch because you cannot
it's
make
like,
more.
Enough of that already. But for us, it's it's like legit. We actually want to control the product. Basically, is what it is, and that's necessary for us at this point in small batch. And so we'd have to find someone else who's willing to perform with that integrity if we ever wanted to scale up.
There has been folks that have been interested that grow moringa nearby or other islands, and saying, oh, if we sent you leaf or pods, and we're excited about that because we could produce more, but we're not really sure what's going on, at least not yet, as far as their process and things like that. And we'd like to have a closer eye on it, I think.
It's got to be people we trust, like we like and we trust, you know.
Well, because this is like you said, like your mark, your legacy, like this. You're not going into this like without your hearts in it, you know. So that's like not something that you're just gonna give to people. And like, no, we worked really hard for this. And I just like, here it is. Like, let me see your file and everything you believe in. And like, what are you're doing of the world before I give you my precious oils? Like, no, I get it. I totally get it. Well, and just also seeing that even in the, you know, I'm always looking at, again, like, even when it gets to the marketplace, because there's so many different products going to the market, and the marketplace is changing all the time, but that even just the consumer drive for knowing about what they're using and its effect, because I feel like the effect people they're like only now like noticing, and then like once you start noticing that, oh my god, everything's connected, your mind is really blown. And so for you guys, I mean, what has been, I mean, in farming, there's just books and books on challenges, you know, but what would you say is the greatest opportunity? Do you feel like there's opportunity in agriculture? Like, if people want to go into agriculture, what would you say? Like, I want to go into it. Like, what would you say to that?
Want me to start?
Yeah.
we get tons of folks that come by the booth at Parker School, and they're either new farmers or they moved from, you know, the tech areas, and they bought lots of land, and really nice, sweet people, and they have good intentions. But what I always recommend is check out Go Farm.
Yeah.
Check out the Kohala Center, check out Go Farm, start networking, get to know people on the island. Because you can't do this by yourself. We see, even through the Go Farm program, just great our colleagues, and just struggling because they're by themselves, and like the pigs keep eating my pineapples, and it's like, and they don't have a fence yet, you know. It's like we're very blessed to have this foundation here where we don't have to worry about those outside pressures. But I would say anyone new or, you know, getting into the farm gig, go to Go Farm.
Totally.
Go on some tours and see if you're interested.
I think there's this stereotype of farmers as like very individualistic, loners maybe, like renegade, but I feel like to make it now you have to be willing to network, ask for advice, you know, like you need to be able to look for mentors. Thank God we have my dad, because there's so many challenges and you really need that help. And so I think if someone were to ask us about farming, I mean, that's why Go Farm is just a go-to. It's a kit, right? It's just a ready-to-go kit. All those things, mentorship, a hands-on experience, colleagues, people who are at the same level as you are, so that you can commiserate together. And
safe environment to ask
problem
silly
solve
questions,
together.
you know?
Yeah.
No, it's been vital, you know, where we've seen like that sort of camaraderie of learning has made, like when you do plan to go on your own, has made, I think, our Go Farmers stronger, because they did have that network. They felt safe, like, and like one of the big takeaways is also like made them feel like they could do it, you know, because we get a lot of people who they're not sure if they can do it, and then they try it on, they're like, wow, I actually am growing stuff, and I could maybe have.
I'm trying to think of like what my father-in-law has said to me, or just things that he says in passing, just to keep the hype up, and you know, you're doing ag and this is a lifestyle. I don't know if this makes sense, but he always says there's a million ways to skin a cat. So there's a million ways to skin a cat. One way for someone else is different for another. Some people like to skin the cat when it's still alive, so which could be much more challenging, but you could still get through this challenge. So what we've noticed through farming and ag is that the same steps the steps you use for your farm may not work for the farm that's even right next door to you. So million ways to skin a cat is just, there's methods and there's ways, and just patience, and just be very kind to yourself, because this is not only physical labor, it's definitely mental with the marketing side, and social too, because you have to network. So you need to be up in spirits, you know, and I think we're fortunate as a couple to have, we can bounce that energy off each other and get our tensions out, and then also be there to comfort each other, you know. But just be kind to yourself, because it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. It's not just a career. Yeah, I would say.
Misa.
That's great. I love that. I think for me, like people who are getting into farming, a lot of them will ask, like, something I've heard is like, you know, do you miss like your old life? Because a lot of people are transitioning in, and so that's a question I get all the time. Do you miss? And you know, for people who are thinking about making the jump, farming is one of those occupations where you will need all of the skills, all of the tools in your toolbox to be able to make it. So it doesn't matter if you were a software engineer, or you were a journalist, or you were, you know, selling books, or you were, you know, working construction. Like, it doesn't matter. There are going to be practical skills that you are going to bring into it. You need every tool.
All applicable.
Yeah. So do you miss it? You don't have to miss it. You just tailor ag to fit, you know, what makes you happy.
Yeah,